So I have been playing. Okay, playing is a strong word. I have been. Okay, maybe not playing is a strong word. Have. Maybe have. Yeah, have been. Have been is a strong phrase. I usually play like a couple hours a week. I've been playing through Expedition 33. This game, if you haven't played it yet, holy fuck. Holy man, this game, like, I'm not streaming it because I just want to enjoy the game and not have to focus on streaming and not have to focus on chat, nothing like that. Just purely enjoy it. And man, like, I am not going to say it's a perfect video game because every game has issues. As an example, the game doesn't have map markers for the map, which is annoying. It also doesn't have any sort of, like, Pokedex system, you know, where you defeat an enemy, you know what its weaknesses are, which, in the context of the game, so in case you don't know, the idea of Expedition 33 is there is this thing called the Paintress, paints a number on the tower. If you're older than that number, you just die. So anyone older than whatever number it is, dead. There's no people over the age, in this case, of 33. At the start of the game, number 34 is on the tower, and Paintress comes along and counts it down. You see big scene of everybody dying who's over that age. So there's only a few more years left where things can legitimately actually happen, because if it gets down to, like, number 10, right? You're gonna send out, like, little babies to go do the expedition. Even younger, like, expedition, it goes down to, like, number 5. It's like, what are you gonna do? They're literally, like, they're babies. They can't do shit. You just send them out. Like, it's not even send them out to die. They're too young to even know what they would be doing. Anyway, so this game, it is, I think it is a really good middle ground between real-time and turn-based combat. So I know there's a lot of people out there who don't fully jive with, like, classical turn-based. When I say that, I mean classical Final Fantasy X, where move happens, move happens, move happens, move happens. There's no interaction between the turns. It's just turn, 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 turn. This does allow for very complex, like, status systems and comboing things together. And, like, there's turn-based is really good. Like, Baldur's Gate 3 is a great example of what you can do with a fully turn-based system. A game like that just would not work real-time. There's a lot of games that have gone full real-time, though. And, like, Final Fantasy's gone down this route. Like, 16's gone down this route. 7, it's like... 7 is like this weird, like, sort of... 7's like very experimental with combat in a lot of cases, but like 16 and 15, you can technically do turn-based, and 15, it's just sucks more than the regular combat. But like, we all know what real-time combat is, right? Like DMC, Final Fantasy 16, Sekiro, Dark Souls, things like that. The way that Expedition 33 works is it is full turn-based. So your turn happens, enemy turns happen. Your turn happens, enemy turn happens. It does have a speed system, so if your speed is really high, so it like 10, there is like a turn order thing on the side. So it's not necessarily you, enemy. It might be a case of 6 times in a row your party goes and then the enemy goes because your speed is so much higher. So it might be like, I don't know. Like, in my case, I've got one of the characters, Mael, her speed is really high, and Lune's speed is really high. So in a lot of cases, it's like Mael, Lune, other party member, and then enemy. Assuming I don't stun them in the process, and then they also lose their turn. Now, what makes this different is when the enemy attacks, you can parry. I guess you can technically block. You can technically dodge. I don't know that. I've literally never pressed the dodge button outside of the tutorial. I think it's Circle or something on a PlayStation controller. So, like a game such as Sekiro, for example, and Sekiro is a really good example because the fucking parry window is tight. Like a game like Sekiro, you can go through the entire game taking 0 damage. I don't know of someone who has done so yet. I am almost certain there is somebody probably streaming it right now trying to do that. Now, there is a difficulty system, so there is like game journalist mode, normal mode, and then gamer mode. I am on gamer mode. I think it's called expert. Also, it's not called game journalist mode. It's like story mode or something like that. I don't fucking know. But in expert, you have to 100% have to parry. You don't have to dodge. Dodging is cringe. Don't press the dodge button. Okay, technically later on you get a jump. Some attacks need to be jumped over. I guess that's technically a dodge. But besides that, dodging is cringe. This makes the system really, really engaging. Because a problem with a lot of turn-based games, like, you know, take the gacha games, for example. A lot of the gacha games literally have an autoplay system because there's so much grinding in them, and there's so much boring fights that no one gives a shit about because you're just pressing attack. Persona gets this way as well. Like, most turn-based games, especially if there's a lot of grinding in them, will really get this way. Here, though, an expert, especially in the way that I'm playing it, which is, I don't know what the health stat is because health is cringe. So is defense. Defense is also cringe. The only reason my defense goes up is because some of the stats you raise also just happen to raise up your defense as well. I don't raise the defense because I don't need defense if I don't get hit. Just put everything in damage. This is how I play a lot of Souls-like games as well, and it always goes for me. Early on, like early Act 1, it's a lot rougher than it is now. Once you start getting the idea of how the system works, it feels fine. It feels really good. Now, early on, the parry window. Holy fuck. One of the most popular mods for this game is actually to make the parry window a little bit more forgiving. I'm not going to say it's unfair. The parry window is incredibly fair, and at least from my experience so far, getting towards the end, finishing Act 1, going to Act 2, every single attack is fair, makes sense, there's no stupid timing. Mostly, like when you see an enemy with a sword, a problem a lot of these, like, any game with parrying has, is the guy with the sword is gonna go, bonk. It's like, there's no, like, build up. It's just like bonk. And it's like you have to like learn only the timing, which is fine in certain contexts if it's very tight, very consistent timing. It's like a bounce attack. It's like bonk. And it's like you have to learn that, like that rhythm. But when there's no build up, that first couple of times you do it always just feel really weird. And if you don't know the build up for it, it just doesn't work. Most attacks have some sort of clear build up. And attacks that don't have a build up, this is something really neat, which I haven't seen other games like this do. Because a lot of the games that have like parry and dodge systems are real timed. It wouldn't really make sense to do this. Attacks where there isn't a clear build-up. So you have an enemy where it's like charging up energy and the spike shoots out and just like instantly shoots out. In those cases, the game does a very brief but very noticeable slowdown. The game will slow down entirely, letting you have that window. It's not like a long one. It'll be like a quarter of maybe like a tenth of a second, maybe a 20th of a second. But it's enough to give you that like feedback you need to know that something's about to happen. The attack comes, your eyes register it, press the button. Really good system. Now, there might be enemies later which are weird. I don't know. But at least so far, it's fine. There are enemies that have really weird gimmicks, though. Like, there's this one type of enemy where they will eat your party member, so you have to end up fighting with less characters on the field, and you have more than, like, 6 party members. You can't swap people in. So, the way you get your party member back is you have to stun the enemy, and then they'll, like, spit them out. But then, when you get towards the lower end, they will end up eating 2 of your party members. Now, if you build your party in a way where somebody is your main damager, you're in for a rough time. Now, again, you can do the game level 1. You can take no damage, but it is going to be very annoying to do that. And especially if your characters like combo off of each other, which is what you're probably going to be doing. Now, like, it's real. Like, it's just a really cool system. Like, the combat's really cool. The enemy's really cool. The music is fucking fantastic. There's a few issues that I will, like, I have to be honest. Like, people are talking about this being, like, perfect video game. I can't play anything else besides Expedition 33. There are legitimate problems with it. Firstly, lack of map markers. So there are some optional areas you'll go to, like at the start of Act 1, there's this side area called a Best Cave with an enemy in there that's going to one-shot your entire party, and you can do it. It's just going to take a long time to do, so you probably want to come back later. Act 2 has places like that as well, and there's various other side places which you might want to go and come back to. There's no map markers, so you either have to remember these locations or write it down elsewhere. It's annoying. Map markers make sense. The lack of the Pokedex thing. So the idea of you going on the expedition is you're going out to beat the paintress, to beat the person who writes this number, and make sure no one else dies. Like, that's the setup early on. Is things going to change later on? I don't know. There's already things kind of changed so far with a new character that's been introduced, but we'll see. So you're going on this journey, and you're also, like, filling out a journal for those who come after. But it never, like, clicks with the characters. They should be writing down what enemies are weak to, things like that. Like, it logically makes sense in the context of the game to write down where weak spots on enemies are, the nature of the enemies, how they behave, how they attack, what elements they're weak to, what elements they resist. Like, these things, like, logically in the context of the game make sense, and it's not there.